She's the voice behind Bob Marley, the mother of lovers rock, the reason you danced the electric slide. But most people, they don't even know her name. This isn't just a hidden chapter in reggae history, it's erasure. Today, we pull the mic forward. This is the unfiltered story of Marcia Griffiths, the most iconic voice the world never properly credited. Born in Kingston, 1949, Marcia grew up in Trenchtown. No music schools, no vocal coaches, just zinc fences, open sky, and rhythms on every corner. At age 11, she was harmonizing on the block. By 15, she got discovered by Byron Lee, then taken to Studio One by Coxsone Dodd. She didn't start as a backup singer. She walked in as a headliner. Her 1967 hit, Feel Like Jumpin', pure fire, a smash in the streets, on the charts, in the dance halls. And behind that joy, a fierce, self-taught voice that made producers pause. A teenage girl commanding rhythms like she owned them. Not cute, commanding. Not decorative, dominant. She was already rewriting the rules. Feel Like Jumpin' wasn't just a party tune. It was a coded anthem of self-worth in a world where women's voices were silenced. She sang softness with power. She brought joy with resistance. She wasn't just singing, she was standing firm. Her lyrics weren't rebellion in red, gold, and green. They were resistance through harmony. And in a male-dominated scene, that was radical. No shouting, no boasting, just melody that moved the masses. In the early 1970s, she teamed up with Bob Marley. Together, they became Jamaica's power duo. Hits like Young, Gifted, and Black crossed oceans. They sang about Black pride, love, and liberation, all in perfect harmony. They weren't just singers, they were cultural ambassadors, and their voices moved not just crowds, but consciousness. That duet wasn't two lovers, it was two revolutionaries in harmony, and their chemistry? Electric, but built on mutual respect, not gossip fodder. Marcia and Bob Marley gave us a blueprint, how love and message could merge and move the world. When Bob Marley needed more than a band, he needed spirit. The I3s answered the call. Marcia Griffiths, Rita Marley, Judy Mowat. They weren't background, they were the root system beneath the Rasta tree. They turned songs like War and No Woman Cry into anthems. Their harmonies? They weren't echoes, they were the backbone. Marcia didn't just harmonize, she uplifted. Her voice softened Marley's fire, gave it wings, and carried it across borders. They stood in stadiums, 3 lionesses, holding space behind the prophet. Without them, the message doesn't fly. The stage doesn't burn. While Bob ascended to legend, the women holding him up were left out of the books. Marcia didn't disappear. History just chose not to look. And when documentaries rolled, when tributes aired, her name too often fell through the cracks. She was there in Zimbabwe and Europe and Trenchtown, singing freedom into the mic, unseen by the camera. Erasure isn't always silence. Sometimes it's just who they forget to name. In 1982, Marcia dropped the Electric Boogie. Years later, it became the Electric Slide. Weddings, barbecues, dance floors from Kingston to Kansas. It became the anthem. But guess what? Most people thought it was some American pop tune. Once again, her voice shook the world, and the world never even knew it was her. She created a ritual dance that spanned generations, and yet the credit? Minimal. The royalty checks? Worse. But legacy? Untouchable. They called her background, but her voice carried the foreground of a movement. They called her support, but she was the spine of Studio One, Tough Gong, and Lovers Rock itself. We talk about the king of reggae. We worship the legend. But when do we talk about Marcia? Not the crown they gave her, the one she carved with her own throat, her own hands, her own damn harmonies. Say it. Marcia Griffiths, the voice you know but never knew. Marcia didn't chase fame. She nurtured talent. She built bridges. She sang with Buju, voiced culture with Tony Rebel, mentored rising queens of reggae. She did it with elegance, without slackness, without gimmicks. And every generation that came after borrowed her grace, her blueprint, her rhythm. No Grammy, no Hall of Fame induction, no mainstream docuseries. Marcia was punished for dignity, for refusing to sell sex over soul. But Babylon can't erase what's eternal. Her voice lives in every reggae harmony you hear today. She is the echo behind the echo, the DNA of roots and soul. From ghetto sound clashes to stadiums in Europe, she never stopped. Even now, decades in, her voice lifts nations. She doesn't just sing, she transforms rooms. She steps on stage and the rhythm bows.
Artists like Janine, Etana, and Queen Ifrica stand on her shoulders, not in imitation, but in evolution.
Every harmony they voice carries a trace of Marcia's courage. She didn't just pave the road, she named the destination. In recent years, Jamaica began to recognize her. National awards, tributes, honors. Still not enough, but it's a start. Because legacy delayed is still legacy earned. And flowers, even late, still bloom. Marcia wasn't defined by her looks, her outfits, or trends. She defined reggae womanhood on her terms, with voice, with grace, with power. And she made sure no woman coming after her had to ask permission to be great. Most voices fade with time. Hers deepened. She didn't just ride waves. She built shorelines. She didn't need virality. She was culture. So now, we say her name. We honor her journey. Marcia Griffiths, the foundation beneath the movement, the harmony that outlived the spotlight. She never begged for recognition, but it's long past due. Drop a heart if you hear her voice in your memory. Share this if you believe legacy shouldn't depend on gender. And next time they talk reggae royalty, make sure they say her name. Marcia Griffith. Respect the harmony, respect the woman, respect the work. Until next time, stay groovy.